All right, how you doing? So this is a late night podcast. So you get up in the morning, there, ladies and gentlemen. You can see it. Thank you for your time. This is not no laughing matter, okay? And let me tell you something there, you churchgoers, okay? You got to be careful about who you give your money to. All right, ask around, research it, and don't let these dudes pimp talk you, whatever. All right, because a lot of them, not all, but about a good 90%. All right, you could just I don't know, you could just tell by the way that they carry themselves. But a good 90% of these guys are businessmen. All right. So Lamor Whitehead, okay, the bishop up in Brooklyn, New York, back on the scene again. Okay, but this time, this guy is locked up. All right, like they say, Akon locked up, won't let me out. Oh yeah, and he's looking at fair time. Now he was locked up on $500,000 bond. I don't know if he made bond yet. Okay, uh, latest reports say that he didn't make it. All right, but for fraud charges. So, and I say this time and time again: once the feds look at you, you up doo doo's creek. Uh so this infamous bishop by the robbery that was made some 3 4 months ago, around the end of the summer. Yeah, with $1 million worth of jewelry, necklaces, bracelets, that type of stuff, rings, in the church during Sunday sermon. All right, that was alleged that either it was a insurance fraud or maybe a way of to quote unquote hedge his name. All right, being that he was already looked at. Okay, to make him out to be like the victim. Okay, could have been a combination of both, but I digress. This dude, not only that, he hustled a parishioner out of $90,000. 56-year-old woman, all right, was just trying to find her blessings, and he hustled that money out of her to help her buy a house, and took the money and did what he wanted to do with it. Okay, with his cars and all this other stuff, jewelry. Come to find out that this dude been missing payments on his house, his cars. Okay, what has he been doing with that money? Furthermore, uh, it was supposed to have been another hustle of $50,000 by force from this guy, okay, to make a payment from law enforcement, allegedly, and another hustle of $500,000 in, or it was an attempt to try to get $500,000 out of a guy, but the $50,000 hustle was done by force, and the guy that Bishop Whitehead, and I have a hard time calling him Bishop, tried to hustle him out of, then he was going to get something like a 10-time dividends, and that didn't happen. Okay, and all this stuff has ways of coming back on you. You do reap what you sow. I do believe that through uh, this experience here with Bishop Whitehead. Okay, and now it's probably going to lead to a long demise for him because he's looking at 60 years for all these charges and so forth. Okay, he just built his own case or whatever. The FBI just helped him out, so that's on him. Now, one thing I didn't know was back in 2008, this guy was locked up before, okay, on 17 counts of fraud. So, uh, yeah, usually if you are locked up before on those 17 counts and you get out, that's kind of like your last resort. Okay. One of the offenses was lying to the FBI. All right, perjury to the FBI. So 2 counts. Those are like 5 years apiece. Okay, so you're looking at 10 years just for lying to the FBI. That's what he is. I'm sorry that he's looking at. This dude is a pure hustler. I mean, evil is just an understatement. Or I know that there's others out here that are worse. Okay, pedophiles and so forth. So I don't know. There's no proof that he's been doing that type of stuff, but he's done some business practices that are just not ethical. Putting his hands on a woman in the middle of the sermon. Okay, a woman that stood up and tried to walk up to the stage. He was arrested for that. These things do add up. So I don't know why these guys. There's guys like him all over the country. Okay, and prosecutors, law enforcement, they eat up this type of stuff. Okay, they hate this type of stuff. Okay, I mean they put guys like Bishop Whitehead on a pedestal because they're going to say, well, how is a so-called man of God now? On top of that, a public figure, they're going to tend to throw all that on them. Okay, they're supposed to be out for the people who are doing stuff like this. Now, I've said this time and time again, these preachers, they get more than enough resources. They're on 501c3, many of them, okay? And if you go to a 501c3 church, you're really at the wrong church, all right? But they get enough resources. They probably make a pretty good living, okay? Especially like churches this big, that big, getting what they're getting. And for some reason, it's not enough. Maybe some preachers feel like they want a little bit more, but how much money does actually a preacher need? And I think it tends to that greediness to see how far they can take it once they get that free lane, okay? That they get in that HOV lane and it's a free lane, they see how far that they can take it, but they don't realize that they're being watched the whole time, okay? That they could be roasted the whole time and don't even know it, okay? So I hope this is a lesson about high idolatry. Okay, actually, I looked at a scripture today of Psalms 115, verses 4 through 8, where idolaters, they look at silver and gold. They don't have eyes, nose, ears, so they don't have any senses. But all they see is gold. All right, and idolatry is going to lead to your demise. And guys, read the scriptures on your own. Please do not rely on man to teach you everything, because that is idolatry. You need to read those scriptures on your own. It takes you a little time, all right? But you do that for your own edification, all right? Because some of these people out here, these so-called men of God, many of them, not all, it just not right. All right, I don't want to go on and on again like some people on here that like to ramble all day, okay? These content creators, all right? Because they can't have their way, acting like preschoolers that can't take their toys, home with them. And let me know what you think about the video. Like, subscribe, share, Cash App, $, Winston Spivey if you want to donate.